You know that feeling, right? That kind of hazy brain fog where your thoughts just don't quite connect?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that underlying grumpiness that just seems to color everything? Or just being plain tired, like bone deep tired that coffee doesn't fix?
Definitely.
Have you ever stopped to really dig into, why that might be happening?
It's such a crucial question
Yeah.
and probably affects, well, way more of us than we think. For this deep dive, you shared a really helpful resource, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Sleep deprivation, what it is, symptoms, treatment, and stages.
Right. It's a great starting point for understanding something so fundamental.
Absolutely. And what really jumped out for me was that sleep deprivation isn't just about like those crazy all-nighters you pull maybe once a year.
Not at all.
The article defines it as consistently not getting enough sleep or maybe not getting good quality sleep.
Exactly. Quality is huge. And that deficit, it can build up, maybe overnight, sure, but it can also be this chronic thing, weeks, months even.
So our mission here basically isn't to make everyone a sleep expert overnight,
No, definitely not.
but just to pull out the really key stuff from this source so you can understand, what's going on in your body and mind when you're running on empty.
And what the real impacts are and maybe some practical things you can actually do about it.
Yeah, without getting totally swamped by medical jargon.
And to really drive home how common this is,
Hmm.
there was a statistic in there that honestly kind of floored me.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
Experts estimate that at any given time, somewhere between 50 and 70 million adults in the U.S. fit the medical criteria for sleep deprivation.
50 to 70 million. Wow.
It's huge. And the
Yeah.
source points out pretty much everyone experiences it at some point.
Okay, so let's get into it. One of the first things the article does, which I think is really important, is it separates sleep deprivation from insomnia
Yes,
because it's easy to just lump them together, isn't it?
it really is.
Yeah.
But they're fundamentally different. The source explains it well. Insomnia is more about the inability to sleep, even when you want to.
Right, like you're lying there trying, but nothing's happening.
Exactly. Mind racing, restless, whatever. But sleep deprivation, that's just the result of not getting enough sleep. It doesn't matter why.
So you might choose to stay up late watching something, or maybe work gets in the way.
Uh-huh. Or you just don't prioritize it. The end result is the same. You haven't got the sleep your body actually needs. That's the deprivation part.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so if we're talking about enough sleep, what does that actually mean? The article breaks it down by age, and seeing the numbers was, well, a bit of an eye-opener for me.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that our needs change, you know. They aren't static. According to the source, newborns, like up to 3 months, they need a massive 14 to 17 hours a day.
14 to 17, wow.
I know. Then infants, say 4 to 12 months, they still need a lot, around 12 to 16 hours, and that includes their naps.
Still quite a bit.
Definitely. Young kids, 1 to 5 years old, they're looking at 10 to 14 hours, again, counting naps.
Okay.
School-age kids, 6 to 12, should be getting somewhere between 9 and 12 hours.
And teenagers. I feel like they always get a bad rap for being sleepy.
They do.
Yeah,
And their needs are often underestimated. The recommendation is actually 8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10.
And
Yeah.
then for us adults, anyone over 18, the target range is generally 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night.
7 to 9. It's really worth pausing and thinking, like, am I actually hitting that consistently?
Absolutely.
Hmm?
Are you in the ballpark for your age group? It's a fundamental question.
Definitely food for thought. Now, the article also talks about the sleep cycle itself. I've heard about the stages, light sleep, deep sleep, REM. But how does that actually work? How does it help our bodies, repair and recharge? What's the significance?
It's really fascinating, actually. Each stage plays a different kind of vital role. Stage 1, that's super light sleep just as you're drifting off. Pretty short.
Right, the transition bit.
Exactly. Then you get stage 2. That's deeper, makes up maybe 45% of your night. And it's really important for things like memory consolidation, learning.
Okay, almost half the night in stage 2.
Roughly, yeah. Then comes stage 3. That's the deepest sleep, about 25% of your night. And the article stresses this is where most of the physical recovery happens.
Oh, okay, physical repair time.
Right. And interestingly, if you're sleep deprived, your brain actually tries to prioritize getting this stage 3 sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which might explain why sometimes, even if you nap when you're exhausted, you still feel kind of physically drained. You might not be getting enough of that deep restorative stage overall.
And the last one is REM.
REM, yeah. Rapid eye movement. That's when most of our vivid dreaming happens.
Okay. And these stages, they just repeat through the night. It's not like one and done.
No, exactly. A full cycle going through all the stages usually takes somewhere between 90 and 120 minutes.
90 to 120 minutes.
Uh-huh. And if you're getting enough sleep, like that 7-9 hours for adults, you'll typically go through about 4 or 5 of these cycles each night.
4 or 5 cycles. Got it.
So it really highlights it. It's not just about the total hours clocked, it's about the quality.
Yeah.
Letting your body and brain cycle through all these essential stages.
Right. So if we're consistently cutting those cycles short or maybe disrupting them, what happens? What are the bigger consequences for our physical health? The article mentioned quite a few body systems getting hit.
Yeah, if you connect the dots, consistently missing out on that restorative sleep, it can trigger a real cascade of negative effects.
Like what?
Well, looking at your heart and circulatory system, the source points to a significantly higher risk of developing high blood pressure, hypertension technically,
Okay, high blood pressure.
and also high cholesterol or hyperlipidemia.
Yeah.
Then there's your metabolic system, a higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes.
Wow, diabetes risk too.
Yep. And your immune system, your body's defense force, that takes a hit too. Its ability to fight off infections effectively gets impaired when you're chronically sleep deprived.
So you might get sick more easily.
Potentially, yeah. Even the nervous system is affected. The article notes it can lead to increased sensitivity to pain.
Really? More sensitive to pain. That's interesting.
Isn't it? It shows how active sleep really is, even though we think of it as passive. It's regulating all these fundamental processes.
That's a pretty serious list of potential problems already. And it doesn't stop there, does it? What about the brain?
And mental health.
No, it definitely doesn't stop there. Sleep is just absolutely fundamental for the brain. We know it's crucial for learning, for consolidating memories.
Yeah.
The source even mentions some emerging evidence suggesting a possible link between chronic sleep loss and maybe a higher risk of Alzheimer's disease later on.
Alzheimer's. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's still being researched heavily, but the connection is being explored. And the link between sleep and mental health, it's incredibly strong. It's just much harder to regulate your emotions when you're sleep deprived.
Yeah, I think we've all felt that irritability.
Exactly. And you're at a higher risk of experiencing symptoms of both depression and anxiety. It often becomes this kind of vicious cycle,
How so?
Well, mental health challenges can mess up your sleep, and then poor sleep makes the mental health symptoms worse. It feeds itself.
Right. Oh, a real domino effect. Okay, so we've hit some of the big, scary, long-term stuff. But what about the more immediate signs, like the everyday symptoms we might notice in ourselves? That could be a clue.
Yeah, the symptoms can really range from those sort of minor annoyances we all know.
Like just feeling sleepy during the day.
Exactly. Persistent daytime sleepiness, even if you thought you slept okay. General fatigue, that irritability we mentioned, snapping more easily, trouble thinking clearly, focusing, remembering stuff. You might notice your reaction times are slower.
Yeah, like feeling a bit clumsy or slow off the mark.
Precisely. And headaches can pop up more often, too.
Okay, those all sound pretty familiar, unfortunately, at times. But the article also mentions some more extreme symptoms that sound, frankly, quite alarming.
Yes. As the deprivation gets more severe or goes on longer, the symptoms can really escalate. The article makes an interesting point. Some severe effects can actually resemble being drunk.
Really? Like alcohol intoxication?
Yeah. Things like microsleeps, those split-second times you nod off without meaning to, maybe without even noticing.
Ooh, microsleeps.
Uncontrollable eye movements sometimes, trouble speaking clearly, drooping eyelids, that's called saptosis, hand tremors.
Okay.
And in really extreme cases, even visual and tactile hallucinations.
Seeing or feeling things that aren't there.
Exactly. Plus, impaired judgment, maybe acting more impulsively or recklessly.
Hallucinations.
Yeah.
Okay, that really drives home how serious this can get. The article also breaks down total sleep deprivation into stages. Can you walk us through those? It sounds like it gets progressively worse.
It absolutely does. Total sleep deprivation, meaning zero sleep, follows a pattern. Stage 1 is usually after about 24 hours awake.
Okay, one full day.
Right. And the source points out your impairment at that point, cognitively, motor skills, it's actually similar to being legally drunk. You definitely shouldn't be driving.
Wow. Just 24 hours.
Yeah. Then stage 2, maybe approaching 48 hours without sleep. Those common symptoms get way more intense. Microsleeps become more frequent, harder to fight off. Your thinking is significantly impaired.
Okay, getting much worse.
Definitely. Stage 3, generally hitting somewhere past 72 hours, 3 days. That's when you can start getting those really severe symptoms like hallucinations. Communication becomes really difficult.
Hallucinations after 3 days.
It can happen, yeah. And finally, stage 4, usually beyond 96 hours, 4 days, all those symptoms just get extreme. Hallucinations might be almost constant, and it gets really hard to tell what's real and what's not.
That's terrifying, actually. It really shows the escalating danger.
It does. It underlines just how critical sleep is for basic functioning.
So it's sobering to hear it laid out like that. What are the typical reasons behind this? Why do people get sleep deprived? The article mentioned lifestyle factors, but also medical stuff.
Yeah, there are lots of potential culprits. On the lifestyle side, things like shift work, especially irregular shifts or nights that can really mess with your body's internal clock.
Right, the circadian rhythm.
Exactly. Using alcohol, especially too much or too close to bed, stimulants like caffeine late in the day.
Guilty of that sometimes.
We probably all are. Poor sleep hygiene is a big one. That's basically just unhealthy sleep habits. High stress levels, obviously. Even just sleeping somewhere new or unfamiliar can throw you off.
Okay, so those are choices or circumstances, but then there are actual medical reasons.
Absolutely. The source lists quite a few. Conditions that directly mess with sleep quality, like sleep apnea.
Where you stop breathing periodically?
Certain brain disorders like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Mental health conditions are huge triggers: anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD.
We talked about that cycle.
Exactly. Concussions or other traumatic brain injuries. Chronic pain is a big one. Insomnia itself has its own disorder. Restless leg syndrome.
What about things like sleepwalking?
Yep, those fall under parasomnias. Things like night terrors, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking. Even some medications can interfere, like corticosteroids or stimulants. And, short-term illnesses like a bad cold or the flu can disrupt sleep temporarily, too.
It really highlights how complex sleep is and how many things can knock it off balance. Okay, but the good news, the article does give some practical advice, right?
Yeah.
What can we actually do to manage this or prevent it?
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely advice in there. A big one is establishing a consistent sleep routine.
Like going to bed and waking up around the same time.
Exactly. Every day, even weekends, as much as possible. It helps regulate that internal clock we mentioned.
Okay, consistency. What else?
Prioritizing getting enough sleep for your age group, actually scheduling it in. Limiting bright lights, especially from screens, phones, tablets, in the hour or two before bed.
Because that messes with melatonin.
Precisely. It suppresses melatonin production, which you need to feel sleepy. Also, avoiding alcohol and heavy meals too close to bedtime. A light snack is usually fine, though.
And exercise. Does that help?
Regular physical activity definitely helps improve sleep quality overall. Just maybe avoid really intense workouts right before you want to sleep.
Okay, good tip. Now, what about those over-the-counter sleep aids you see everywhere? Are they a good long-term fix?
The article actually advises caution there. They might help short-term, but relying on them long-term isn't ideal. They can sometimes even mess with your sleep architecture over time.
Okay. So not a magic bullet.
Not really. Prescription meds should only be used under a doctor's guidance. And the source really stresses if sleep problems are ongoing, or if you suspect something like sleep apnea.
You should see a doctor.
Definitely. Get it checked out. They might recommend specific tests.
Like what kind of test?
Well, maybe formal sleep apnea testing, or an EEG to look at brain waves during sleep. Sometimes aptigraphy, that's like a wrist tracker for movement. Or tests to measure daytime sleepiness, like the MSLT or MWT.
All right, so proper diagnostic tools exist, and treatment really depends on the cause then.
Exactly. It could involve behavioral changes, improving sleep hygiene, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, maybe, or medications in some cases, used carefully.
Because they can be habit-forming?
Some can, yes. Or things like breathing, support CPAP machines for conditions like sleep apnea. The key is figuring out the why first.
Got it. So pulling it all together, the big message seems to be sleep deprivation is super common, often kind of downplayed.
Yeah, underestimated.
But it can have really far-reaching effects on pretty much everything, our health, mood, daily life.
That's absolutely the core takeaway. It's easy to just say, oh, I'm tired, but consistently missing out on good quality sleep. That adds up and can lead to serious long-term health problems.
And even if it feels like just a minor annoyance we can power through, persistent sleep issues could actually be a sign of something else going on medically that really needs attention.
Exactly. It's about becoming more aware of your own sleep, noticing those signs, and really prioritizing rest as fundamental to your health as diet or exercise.
And not being afraid to seek help if you're consistently struggling.
Please don't hesitate. Talk to a healthcare professional.
Okay, so final thought for everyone listening. Think about how just one night of really good sleep makes you feel, that clarity, the energy, the better mood. Now, really think about the cumulative impact of consistently falling short. What's maybe one small, manageable change you could try to implement, maybe even starting tonight, to begin prioritizing that amazing restorative power of sleep?